Hello, sports fans. Great to be back with you. I very rarely start with boxing, and for good reason, because boxing always sticks it to you, and they did it again this weekend with the Alvarez-Chavez nonsense. I don't know how many of you bought this fight. If you did, my condolences to you. Alvarez beat Chavez Jr. 120 to 108 on the scorecards, which equates to 12 rounds to nothing. They sold you a bill of goods. This fight was a total farce. It was a joke. They built this fight as two Mexican warriors going at it, mano y mano. Mano y mano. This was more like Pepe Le Pew. This fight smelled. I mean, what a complete joke. This is why you never trust boxing. I told you last week I was not buying the fight. I've bought too many bad fights in the past. I did catch a replay of the fight on the internet later on, and I did not miss anything. If you watched any round in this fight, you got the idea. Alvarez dominated the fight. He won every round, and Chavez Jr. did nothing. Why was Chavez Jr. on pay-per-view? They have overhyped this guy for it seems like a decade. He's not his father. I don't understand why Chavez Jr. was on pay-per-view. Alvarez should have been fighting Triple G Golovkin, which he will do in September. Instead, they gave you this bill of goods, bag of junk, and that's just what it is. And that is the problem with boxing. I mean, it's bad enough you got to pay high cable bill, prices. You ever take a look at your cable bill? You get about 1,000 channels and about 950 of them you never even click on. I don't need 50 cooking channels from Tibet. And then they charge you extra for pay-per-views like this bad boxing match. So if you're a big boxing fan, they suck you in every time. And to those people that bought this fight, my condolences go out to you. I mean, what a travesty this fight was. They sold you a bill of goods, an absolute stinker. I mean, this was a joke from the start, a total farce. I mean, I have a huge problem with boxing, an absolute huge problem. Now I hear that they want to make the Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight another huge joke. McGregor and Mayweather in a boxing match. Conor McGregor is a UFC fighter. He is not a boxer. I mean, you talk about a joke, they'll probably charge you $100 for that mess. Mayweather will win 12 rounds to nothing in a decision. I mean, what a travesty. Hopefully, Conor McGregor will forget it's a boxing match, put Mayweather in a rear naked chokehold, get disqualified, and put all of us out of our misery. What a joke. How many times is boxing just going to stick it to you every single time? They did it to you again this weekend with the big, two big Mexican warriors going at it. Cinco de Mayo weekend, mano y mano. You got Dan Rayfield from ESPN giving you the round-by-round updates. Lampley babbling away. Kellerman babbling away. Telling you this is the greatest fight in the history of boxing. This fight was a joke. They gave you garbage, an absolute travesty. I am not paying for any boxing pay-per-views for the foreseeable future. I am sorry, I am just not doing it. And again, for the third time, for the people that bought this fight, my condolences go out to you. You guys should get refunded. I mean, they should pay you for watching this junk. And that's why I very rarely lead with boxing, because this is what they give you, absolute garbage. Anyway, let me get off that. Let's get to the NHL. We're going to have a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference between Washington and Pittsburgh. It's 3-3. Washington will have the home ice in Game 7. Washington has won the last two. I'll tell you, this series has been strange. Pittsburgh dominated the first two games in Washington. They came home, and then Crosby got that concussion, missed Game 3. Washington won Game 3, so it was 2-1. Pittsburgh did find a way to win Game 4 without Crosby to go up 3-1. They get Crosby back in Game 5. They're leading 2-1 in the third period, and since then, it's all fallen apart for the Penguins. Washington gets 3 goals in Game 5. They win that game to stay alive, and they just buried the Penguins last night. I mean, at one point, it was 5-0. Capitals win 5-2. To me, I think Washington's going to win in 7. I had an eerie feeling when Crosby got that concussion in Game 3 that Pittsburgh was just not going to do it this year. They've had a lot of injuries. Couple guys out of the lineup. The goalie's been out. Murray's been out. Letang's out. Crosby's this injury. Now listen, Crosby came back and Pittsburgh had every opportunity to win this series. They were up 3-1. They were winning Game 5. They had every opportunity. This is asking a lot now to go on the road and win Game 7. Here it is for Washington. This is where Washington usually falls flat on their face. They have all the momentum in the world. They have a home game to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is where the Capitals have to respond. I thought this would be the Capitals' year. I picked them to win the Cup. I think they will get it done here. If they don't, here we go again with the Caps. But this has been a strange series, just very bizarre. But we do get a Game 7 tomorrow night. Tonight in Madison Square Garden, the Rangers will try and stay alive. Ottawa leads 3-2. This has been another bizarre series. The Rangers have given away 2 games in this series on Ottawa ice, including the last game where the Rangers led 2-0 and led by a goal late. Again, Ottawa came back to tie, won it in overtime. That's the second time Ottawa pulled a win out of their hat. So Ottawa is up 3-2. I do expect the Rangers to win Game 6 in the Garden, and then we'll have probably a crazy Game 7 that'll probably go into 3 overtimes. As far as the Western Conference, how about Nashville? Nashville, to me, is the X factor of this whole playoffs. They swept away the Blackhawks in round 1, and then they beat a good Blues team 4-2. Nashville looks really, really good, and they have a hot goaltender. You get a hot goaltender at this time of the year in the NHL, you can go far. And how about St. Louis? Again, if the Capitals end up winning it this year, the team that's really been the team that can't get it done will be St. Louis now. St. Louis never gets it done in the playoffs. My goodness. They go out early every single year, and they had a good team this year. But Nashville, what a story. They are hot goalie, look really good. Anaheim and Edmonton have a Game 7 there. That series is 3-3. Anaheim will host Game 7. This has been another wild series. I mean, in Game 5, Edmonton was winning 3-0 in Anaheim with 3 minutes to go. Anaheim scores 3 goals to tie it and wins it in overtime to take Game 5. Then Edmonton comes back in Game 6 and just wins by 100 goals. They're up 6-0 in like the first few minutes of the game. So this should be a wild and woolly Game 7. So you got a lot of great stuff in the NHL. Game 7, Washington-Pittsburgh. Game 7, Anaheim-Edmonton. Game 6, Ottawa and the Rangers. Of course, Nashville already in the clubhouse. A lot of exciting stuff in the NHL. Over to the NBA we go. Ho-hum. Like I told you, in the NHL you get upsets. You get Game 7s. You get a lot of exciting stuff. The NBA, the best teams usually win. You're seeing that again this year. Are we going to get Golden State, Cleveland for the 3rd year in a row? I think we are. Golden State and Cleveland have not lost a game yet in the playoffs. 8-0 on both sides. Golden State swept away Utah 4-0. Cleveland, won 4-0 as well in their series against Toronto. I mean, they just ran away with it. So it's Golden State and Cleveland already in the clubhouse. San Antonio and Houston 2-2. Back to San Antonio we go. Remember, Parker out for the playoffs. No matter who wins that series, San Antonio, Houston, I can't see either one of them beating Golden State. Boston, Washington, 2-2. Back to Boston we go. Good series, 2 good teams. Again, though, I can't see Boston or Washington beating Cleveland. To me, I still think it's Golden State's year. I still think they're going to win it. I know Steve Kerr, the coach, has been out with the complications from the back surgery, but they do have Mike Brown. Mike Brown's an experienced coach. He coached the Cavaliers and LeBron James. He's a good backup to Steve Kerr, so they should not miss a beat. They expect Steve Kerr back on the sidelines anytime soon. We will see, but it should be Golden State and Cleveland when all's said and done. And I've been saying it all year. Hard to see anyone beating Golden State. I mean, they added Durant to a team that set the wins record last year. I mean, come on. So that is your NBA Kentucky Derby. Always Dreaming wins the Kentucky Derby. Not a great field of horses this year. Not a great crop of horses. Very average horses. They also have to do a different way of getting these horses in the Kentucky Derby with the point system. They have it all messed up. Some really good horses were left out of this race. Some bad horses made the race. They have to do away with that whole point system or readjust it. I mean, it's just not working. This is a mediocre crop this year of horses. And you got your baseball, of course. By the way, I've been very disappointed with baseball. I looked at the standings in Major League Baseball. Most of the teams are mediocre or just plain bad. There are very few good to elite teams in Major League Baseball. Now, I know it's early and things could change, and there's some good stories out there like the Yankees and the Astros and on and on and on. But there are some really bad teams or mediocre teams. Most of the American National League is mediocre or worse. I'm not impressed with some of the talent in baseball this year. I mean, it looks like there's just a few good teams that can possibly win the World Series. There's going to be a lot of bad teams. I mean, I watch a lot of, being here, I'm in New York here, I watch a lot of the Yankees and the Mets, and I feel like the Mets play a team that's under 500 every night. I mean, how bad are the Giants? I mean, the Giants, who are supposed to be a good team, they are dreadful this year. There are so many bad teams in Major League Baseball, but it is early. Okay, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You guys, thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. You got some good stuff in the NHL and some good stuff in the NBA. You guys enjoy the games. Take care.